the pain. All right, I didn't want to close this out. I actually almost forgot to talk about this article, but I didn't want to make the What's News, at least the first part, a 1 hour segment. I think I'm actually trying to contain it to 28, no more than 35 minutes. But this one I just couldn't get away with because it has been something I've been very keeping an eye on for quite some time, especially since the George Zimmerman attorneys been trying desperately to prolong the trial again and again and again, and they kept on getting turned down again and again and again. Finally, it's going to go to trial. Finally, we'll get to hear the arguments, and I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of stuff, a lot of nasty stuff is going to come out. These lawyers are going to make Trayvon Martin a thug, a guy who does drugs, who the drugs, marijuana, may have influenced his motivation to either attack Zimmerman. Everything pretty much is going to be pointed on Trayvon Martin on this case on the prosecutor's side, especially when you heard the open arguments. The prosecutor also made their opening statement as well, so I'm pretty much saying the same thing, that he provoked the attack. He was pretty much stalking him, and needless to say, these are the arguments that they're also going to put out there. I don't know. They've been trying to stop. I know Zimmerman's lawyer's been trying to stop those tapes from becoming evidence in court. I don't know. I haven't heard too much about that. But needless to say, everything is going to come to a head now in this trial. How long it will last, I don't know. I know a lot of people was frustrated that it took this long. I wasn't. I said this before in the previous video that this is a normal process. It will take a year, perhaps 2 years before we see anything going on in terms of it going to trial. And the reason is pretty much part of strategy. Don't get it twisted. The longer it takes, it can be a strain in terms of taxpayers' money as well as Zimmerman as well. But it is a financial push. Also to see if the family would even give up if they kept it going longer. Most of the time it's trying to get as much evidence as possible. So all that plays into to play. So a lot of people didn't like the fact that I said that it may take a year, but 1 year later, here we are, and for pretty much everything I had predicted. I was not shocked that Zimmerman wanted to prolong the trial for the reasons he said, that he wanted to have more time to prepare and also make sure he has the fundings that he needs to pay his lawyers. Again, many people said it was BS. But to me, I can sort of see that as well, even though prolonging it will only cost him more. But in the case of that, yeah, he wants to come as best prepared as possible. I can care less if he gains weight. That is not my concern. That was thrown out there as well. But the important thing is that this trial is going to happen. And a lot of people are already pretty much preparing themselves. Pretty much preparing themselves for this. A lot of sides who said racism, a lot of sides who say that he was the aggressor, even people who said that he's being the one that's being put to the burner from all this stuff, situations. So you're going to see a lot of that stuff being going on. It's going to be a circus, and I hope that the judge calms this down, because the last thing you need is outside distractions of any kind from any side of the fence. This needs to be presented professionally and without the media manipulating things, because like I said before, and they have actually done it for both sides. They can manipulate the facts or even over-exaggerate the truth. So this is the thing I'm hoping that the media don't do, but the media has not failed me when it comes down to doing stuff like that, and they just stick with the facts. If the prosecutor does his job right, he may actually have a legitimate case against Zimmerman. If the defense attorney does his job right, which from what I've been seeing, isn't really much he can go on except for what Zimmerman told him, what has the test has done, and see if he can use that to his advantage, because he needs to prove that Zimmerman didn't come out there to cold-blooded kill the guy, kill the kid. So that's the thing that he has to prove. He has to prove it. Everybody said you're innocent to proven guilty. I'm not buying that. I'm quoting the one from my cousin Vinny. You're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. And to me, in everybody's eyes, and even in the law's eye to an extent, he is guilty. but he has to prove himself that he's not guilty. In fact, he has to prove himself that he is innocent of the crime and that he was justified taking down Trayvon Martin. So a lot of stuff is going to be thrown there. Here's the thing that and I'm going to say this. I will say this straight up. This stuff, I can't stress this more, could have been avoided if the cops done their job. I can scream, yell, get mad at George Zimmerman for the fact that he's out there. I can scream and yell at what he has done. By the way, I say this straight up. He basically he is at his own fault because he, to me, was the aggressor for the simple fact that he followed this kid. He followed this kid, and he continued to follow this kid until we had the situation that eventually ended his life. But to me, the police officers took this guy's word without doing any tests. They just said, okay, he's telling the truth. Throw this guy in the morgue, and didn't even bother to call anyone. Didn't even bother to check who he was. That's unacceptable. And then say straight up, without even checking the facts, that he was an outstanding citizen when there was actually reports that he had done this in the past. These are the things that bothers me about what has happened, and it really painted that county police department in a very bad light. It really did, and it's still. I have a bitterness for what they've done. They've done a horrific job of handling this case, and it really brought the question of what stop and frisk is really. Who is that really for? Is it for everyone or a certain select few? Because even the media has said that if you're black, this rule doesn't apply to you. It's kind of hard to say. They're wrong. When in reality, I've seen different cases of this stop and frisk case, and I've seen how one group of people actually got off scot-free, and another group of people who, even though you read it, you think that okay, that's justified. She, was trying to defend herself, and she didn't kill anyone, or this person didn't kill anyone, and now facing trial, is going through the ringer, and possibly could serve jail time, despite the fact that they probably had a justifiable reason to shoot. This is the thing that bothers me about this law. It's too broad. And you have officials up there say, oh, there's nothing wrong with the law. No, there's nothing wrong with the law because the people who made the law is telling you there's nothing wrong with the law, and you don't want to piss them off. And mind you, that was done by the NRA. Congratulations for adapting a law from the NRA and not even bother thinking about the overall consequences. Congratulations, Florida. I got to praise you there. Moving right along, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I'm going to keep an eye on it. It's something that is very important. I'm going to hear from both sides. I'm going to hear what how both sides are going to say in the matter. I'm going to keep an open mind of what the prosecutor is saying. I'm keeping an open mind what the defense attorney is saying. I'm seeing what steps and measures is going to be done. I'm going to expect a smear campaign, which pretty much has already happened, both from the lawyers of Zimmerman to even some of these radical gun extremists who made it clear that they think he's a thug and he deserves to die, and they made stupid posters and stupid gun ammo. You name it, they just made everything just to basically put down a kid who was dead. And forget about the fact that whether you believe he was that Zimmerman was guilty or not. It's the fact that they went on and did this and did it in such poor taste. The kid is gone, and you're still spitting on his grave. Come on, really? And I kind of wonder if that was their kid, their sons, who went through the same thing, and you hear the NRA doing the same thing to your kid. Would you be happy about that? So that's a thing that really does bother me about the whole idea how much of a circus it's had, and it has become a circus. Now it's died down. That's because all that blast hype the media was doing had died down, but the coverage hasn't died down, and both sides are not going to let it die down. They're going to have a huge amount of coverage on this right up to the bitter end, and even with that, it's not going to be over. If George Zimmerman is guilty, you better believe he's going to do an appeal. Even if he's found innocent, there's still going to be anger, and there's going to be questions of just how strong the justice system is and what they're going to do to prevent this terrible tragedy happening again. These are some of the things that Florida has to seriously look at. Don't just take any law for granted and say, oh, this law is perfectly fine, which some of those congressmen is saying. Oh, this law is perfectly fine. No, it's not fine. There's a lot of flaws in this thing. You need to look at it. You just need to seriously look at it. I can say, look at Texas. Texas is a gun wielding state. There's no question. But even they had their limits. I mean, they had made laws in the order, and because of that, a guy who thought stand your ground means I can go to another person's house who's having a party, point a gun at them, and shoot him because he felt threatened, even though he precipitated the whole thing, was going to get him off. He pretty much taped the crime scene, and he is now serving prison time for what he provoked. And they do have stand your grounds laws, but they made it very clear you cannot provoke the person. And his own camera pretty much did that, and that was the big thing difference between that. They have stand your ground, but they also have ground rules that you must abide by. One of them being you do not provoke anyone, especially with a gun. And that was the thing that Texas have done, which I think it was actually kind of smart in a move, and justice was served. You also have a situation here, and this is why it has to come into question with stand your ground. There was a guy, and I reported this before. He was mad that a group of people was playing music in their car. Now, they was waiting for the light to change. For some reason, he felt that it was so mean, it was so bad, that he actually walked up to them, got into an argument, shoot them, and left. They was waiting for a light. They was going to leave anyway. But obviously the music wasn't happy for them, and he shot him. Now, they was report of stand your ground, but I seriously doubt that was going to happen. If he gets away with that, and the law is wrong. The law needs to be looked at in Florida. But these are the kind of things. People who feel that stand your ground means that you can be a vigilante and a pistol shooting anyone who you feel threatened. And you don't know how paranoid some guys are. And God knows how many stories I have done where people use the guns for the wrong reason. Look, if you want to have stand your ground laws and you feel that that's is a necessary thing to protect yourself, fine. But make sure you have strict guidelines on what is considered stand your ground, or in other words, self-defense. To just, no, you started this. You should have waited till the police get here. No, you shouldn't have went over there to precipitate a fight. You got to go to jail because that's not stand your ground. Don't make it just broad and then expect nothing bad has happened. And again, Florida had made a broad law, didn't probably read the law, didn't probably think it through before passing the law, and because of that, they have a controversy. And not just Trayvon Martin. There's other news out there that it hasn't probably been reported to, or rarely been reported to, because of these laws. And that's the thing that they need to really seriously take consideration. Every state who wants to adapt this needs to take that into consideration, because you're playing with people's lives and you're assuming that no one's going to abuse that law. And we all know that's not true. So I really do hope it sends a message. I really do. When I remember what happened, it sends a message that, hey, look, before you pass laws like this, take the time to read it. You're a congressman, you're getting paid taxpayer dollars, you got voted in by the people. Do the people a favor. Take a look at legislation that you're trying to pass. Read it and ask yourself, is this really a good idea? Really? Well, that's pretty much it. I wanted to get that out the way. I did, again, 13 minutes. It probably would have been a 48-minute video if I kept it in the original. But I'm glad I did this, because it gives people an option just to go to here. If not, oh man, I have to battle through because I'm in deep pain. I'll explain that in my diary video, because I think I need to get something straight, especially one particular person who thinks that my life revolves around YouTube, and that's not the case here, okay? So that's it about what's news, and as always, if you have any comments as to the news report that I have talked about, please leave it in the comment section. I'd like to hear your opinion on the matter. I'd even like to hear your feedback on the matter. I really do. And I do apologize if I seem a little bit out of it, but trust me, when you have this kind of situation that I have, it's not fun. It really isn't. So again, take care, be safe. I'll talk to you soon. I'll be looking for your comments.